All right. Hello, everybody. Hey, District 6. We had. Who said that? All right. Good evening, y'all. We're having technical difficulties this evening. As you see, I'm sitting outside. They're having issues in the station, so we're having to go live from a different location. But nonetheless, we're going to still bring you the great content and the great topics. We have two very exciting guests that are going to be joining us this evening, talking about some very important topics. One is a candidate running for city council, and the other one is a current sitting alderwoman in the great city of Byron, Mississippi. She's the best alderwoman in Mississippi. And I'm not only saying my, she's just fantastic. So we are going to bring her up. And let's see here. And there we go, y'all. Surprise.
Hi there, everyone in Radio Land.
How you doing this evening, Miss Irma Johnson?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you for having me, Fabian. I applaud you for getting this on screen. I probably would have panicked, but you're good. You're good.
I, t-
So I applaud you.
I, t-
Okay, today I'd like to talk about mental health matters. We're having a forum,
you're
and
breaking up. You're breaking up on us. Miss Irma's
okay,
breaking up. There you go. Try.
is that any better?
Uh-huh.
Okay. As I said, this is Irma Johnson, and I'm talking today about mental health matters. We are having a mental health forum that's sponsored by the City of Byram's Mayoral Health Council. We're going to have speakers on the federal level, on the state level, and the local level that will be bringing you information on how to access information if you're in need of these services. So it's going to be kind of uh, for about an hour, and it's going to be informative. You can ask questions, you can get information to help you manage and navigate the path of mental well-being. It's one conversation at a time, and this is so much needed in our community. And so I don't want you to think that it's a stigma, but please step out and just come and enjoy, well, get the information that we're going to be providing. And the date is May 21st, 2025, from 1 o'clock to 3 p.m. We're going to have door prizes and refreshments. I have a QR code that I would like for you to register. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my telephone number and another telephone number. So if you want to come, please let us know. That's going to be Irma Johnson, 601 918 6369, or Evelyn Jackson, 601 954 3117. Okay? If you didn't get those numbers, my number is again is 601 918 6369. The other number, 601 954 3117. Again, this is going to be Wednesday, May 21st, from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock at Byram City Hall. Fabian, thank you so much for having me as a guest this evening.
You are very welcome, Miss Irma. And as Miss Irma said, she's gonna have a mental health forum. Y'all, mental health is very serious. That's a topic that we don't talk enough about. And it's running rampant all around us. So please come out
Right,
and and take advantage of any services that are being offered. But
right.
definitely excited about the things that the mayor's health council is doing in the city of Byron. And Miss Irma,
Right.
thank you for joining us to come back at any time.
Okay. All right. Have a good evening, everyone. Please join us on Wednesday at Byron City Hall. Thank you all. Have a good evening, Fabian. And thanks again.
All right, so y'all just heard from Alderwoman Irma Johnson, and we are just excited about everything going on, not only in the city of Byron, but all us. So please come out and support that event. The Mayor's Health Council in the city of Byron has been doing some amazing work, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And we're going to keep it moving. All right, are y'all ready for our next guest? And hold on, whoa, wait a minute. All right, Miss Brittany Bowman, thank you for blessing us with your presence. How you doing this evening?
Please continue on.
It's gonna be all right. We're gonna keep on moving. So we're gonna bring our next guest on. We have none other than candidate for City Council, City of Jackson, Mrs. Grace Green. Welcome to the show, Grace. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. Thank you for having me. And I tried to step outside. I'm just in my car sitting right here next to Fabian, but I was getting too much feedback and I could anyway, I needed to get to where I wasn't hearing your feedback so I could talk. But I applaud you for just pivoting and getting it done and just saying let's figure out a way to make this work. So thank you for having me on tonight.
Bessie, our listeners are always depending on us to be on the air at 6 o'clock, and we're going to do whatever we can to bring our message to them. It may not be pretty, it may not be all the bells and whistles, but hey, nonetheless, as long as we can get and reach our people, that's all that matters. And
Yes.
so tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us what seat you're running for, because I can't remember what ward it is. I apologize, but tell us what's going on.
No, that's fine. I'm Grace Bateman Green. My maiden name is Bateman. I have been lived in Jackson most of my life, and my family moved to Fondren when I was 11. And I tell people I lived in Fondren before it was cool. There was just the Jitney Jungle and like Brent's Drugs. There wasn't all this other, and it wasn't even really called Fondren. It was, but anyway, I love seeing all the development and what has happened in that area. I from like even coming down. So I grew up in Jackson. I went to college at Mississippi College, and I got a degree in social work and Spanish. And I actually did a lot of volunteer work with Voice of Calvary, which their offices at the time were right on the other side of this, on the Pecan Park Circle on the other side. And they had a church over there on Robinson Road. And I was sad when I was driving by. It looks abandoned, but like I'd hoped somebody else would be in there. So I volunteered here a lot. And then, yeah, I went overseas after college and did missions work and economic development work in Peru and got really interested in economic development. So got a master's degree in economic development. And from that, I've done a number of different businesses. I worked with some women in Peru and did a business called Peru Paper Company, a fair trade company. And then when I started having kids, I realized there was a need for childbirth services in Jackson. So I became certified to teach childbirth classes. And so I taught childbirth classes and worked as a birth doula for about 10 years. And I had to pull away from that after I have 4 kids, after I had my fourth, just because, it's logistically getting a call at 2 a.m. that somebody is in labor and needs you. It just wasn't working out. So, but I've got kind of a varied, pathway, but I love Jackson. My husband's family business has had a location in Jackson for over 40 years. My personal office is in Jackson. Our kids all go to JPS. All of the things. So we're all in. We're here, and we want to see Jackson thrive. And I joke that I had 2 kids in diapers with no trash pickup, and it kind of pushed me over the edge. And I mean, and you even understand this now, like you're dealing with that issue at the apartments, and I saw your post on that, and I thought, like, it's a crisis. Like, you got to get it. You have to. That's like the basic stuff that folks have to do. So anyway, yeah, that's a little bit about me and just running to make Jackson a better place to live and work and raise a family. And I'm looking at my kids. I want it to be a good place for them now, for my kids and your kids, and then I want it to be a good place in the future that they'd want to come back to. I've seen the population loss of Jackson, and I'm like, I don't want this to continue. Like, I want there to be a town, a place for them to come back to. And so, anyway, that's kind of what motivated me to run.
Okay, okay. Pretty much kind of my story. That was the reason I ran for office. I was just tired of seeing things around us. And it's ironic because when I was running for office, we were in the middle of the garbage crisis.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did is I went out and got a trailer, and all of my senior citizens and disabled people that were in my district, I was picking their garbage up for them, just
Mm-hmm.
help them out some. So I'm very familiar, with that. And when you talk about garbage, that's like a basic city service. That's
That's
at
the most
the
basic.
Yeah, when we talk about government, we should be talking about bigger issues, real issues. Garbage pickup should not be an issue. And so that
Mm-mm.
was very disturbing. The things we're dealing with at the apartment complex right now, that's disturbing. And I saw you mention that you were teaching childbirthing classes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw it now, but we had some legislation this past year about making sure that midwives could continue to do their jobs
Mm-hmm.
safely. And so I was happy to champion the legislation because a lot of people opt to want to do natural childbirth, and so
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely want to make sure we protect that right. So definitely want to commend you for
Yeah.
doing that.
Well,
Yeah. So
thank
tell
you.
me what. Uh huh.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So tell us about your vision for your ward and for the city of Jackson.
Mm-hmm. I want to be for my ward. I want to be responsive to folks, and like we were talking about, I've been calling lots of voters, and people sometimes are surprised that it's not a robocall. Like, I'll introduce myself, and then they'll be like, "Oh, it's you." And I said, "Yes, it's me." And I told a lady today. She asked. She was kind of like, "Why are you calling?" And I said, "Well, I wanted to reach out to you and just I want." And I said, "And I want voters to know that I will be accessible. Like, you can get in touch with me, and I will respond to you." And and I have a vision for being on the city council, of being really an advocate for people. Like, a lot of times it's very easy to say, oh, like, that's not my job, or oh, we only need to be here and vote on the budget, or we only need to do whatever. But if you are an elected official, you have a voice that the average citizen doesn't. And you know other people and have connections, and you have some authority. Like, there's some weight for stuff when you ask for things or call out to somebody. I think how you're dealing with this trash situation at the apartment complex is a perfect example. It is not your job description as a legislator to personally deal with absentee landlords, but by you raising awareness, you have a platform that other people don't, and so, like, in some authority and connections, you can help out these citizens who are in this situation through no fault of their own. And so I think just doing that, and just and being creative, finding creative solutions. Like, when I was in Peru and working with these women, and they were impoverished women, and they wanted a way to be able to support their families, but also childcare was an issue, and just a lot of the things that women or single moms have to deal with, and just being able to come up with a solution, find some creative solutions, and be like, okay, well, maybe we could do this, maybe we could sell this, maybe we could scale it up, maybe we could do those things. So I think just being a voice, being visible in the community, and then just getting government working, like 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 you said, like the basics. Like, somebody was telling me the other day, they're like, we just got to get back to, like, the basics, blocking and tackling. Like, we got to have, like, res- people answer and respond when we call 911, or when we call 311, or if there's just and to restore trust in government. I think a lot of people have lost that in the government of Jackson, just because they think, oh, it's not going to get done. And so, why should I call? What should I do? Nobody's going to do anything. It's not going to matter. It's just going to be, so I think trying to restore some trust, and you do that by being visible, by being active in the community, by participating in things, and by being an advocate for people, instead of saying, this isn't my problem. Say, okay, I'll get in the fight with you if it means, like, advocating for whatever it is, to try to get this fixed, just to know, for people to know that there's somebody on their side, and serve with integrity. So anyway, those are some of the things that I am hoping to do if elected.
And that's true. You made a very good point when you talk about one thing I always hate to hear is that's not my job. I'm not supposed to be doing it. You need to call so and so. And let's talk about this apartment complex, for instance. Like you
Mm-hmm.
said, that's not the job of a legislator to be out. I was out there picking up trash today,
Yeah.
trying to help the city enforce ordinances. That's not my job. However, I have a voice. Unlike the average citizen that calls, they're not going to get what they need. But also, this gives me an opportunity to say, because I talked to Councilman Hartley and Councilman Foot today, and I said, you know what? Now that I see the hurdles that y'all are having due to state statute, maybe we need to talk about changing state statute to make it easier for you to do your job. Let's
Yeah.
and they talk of the rental registration in the city of Jackson. I say, well, maybe we need to look at rental registration and make sure that when we have a property owner on file, that if they stop managing a property, they have so many days to report that they're gone. Because in this instance, the property management company left, so they don't have a fiscal agent that's local. And so when you put yourself into the problem, you can help formulate solutions and figure out ways to keep it from happening again. So I definitely commend you on having that mindset. As I'm going to go and I'm going to be there with my people.
Yeah, for sure. And like for example, I know in like another thing that citizens of Ward 1 are really concerned about is homelessness. There is an increasing homeless population in Ward 1 because we kind of have that I-55 frontage corridor. And so it affects businesses, it affects, people don't feel safe if there's somebody who's having a mental health crisis or they're, on drugs, whatever. And I was talking to Rex Baker at Gateway Rescue Mission, and I went and toured the facility, and I was asking him, I said, well, what would you do? Like I said, if I were to win on city council, what would be like, what could I do in that position that could help address this? And he said, we need to get like everybody in the room and like figure out what to do. He said, because there are, if the city, we can make a city ordinance, but if there's no way to enforce it, or if the law enforcement doesn't have the manpower or the ability to enforce it, it's not going to matter. He was telling me there are some, legislative issues like surrounding mental health that need to be changed. Or if like somebody's having a mental health crisis, getting them the services they need, which that might be more at a state level. And so just looking at those things, it's like, okay, well, when you sit down and you're in there, like sitting down in Gateway Rescue Mission and you say, what are some of the things with issues with homelessness? You realize this isn't something that the city council could just do on its own. This is not something that law enforcement can do on their own. This is not something that Gateway Rescue Mission could do on their own. This is not something that the legislature could not do on their own. This is something that all of us would have to be together to make all the parts work. And yeah, but again, I wouldn't have known that if I wouldn't have been in there like with Rex saying like what can we do like to help both the homeless population and to ensure also that this is a like that the residents in this of the ward feel safe and like this is an issue that is being addressed. So I totally agree with you. Like when we're in silos, like when this branch of government is not talking to this branch of government or the divisions or whatever, it hurts everybody because either we're duplicating things or missing things and we're just not being effective. We're so much better when we work together.
That's very true. And until if you sit behind the desk and hear about a problem, it doesn't hit the same way if you're actually sitting there looking that problem in the eye. If you're at the homeless shelter, you're actually able to see and feel the pain of the struggles that
Mm-hmm.
the people are going through. And I'm glad you spoke about homelessness because as you know, July 1, we have a new bill going into effect, well, a law
Mm-hmm.
going into effect, which is the homeless encampment bill, meaning that if a person is in a park, sleeping in a park, and making a homeless encampment, they can go to jail. But we have nowhere for them to go. What are we going to do? And as right now, the city of Jackson should be putting some measures in place because it is not a crime to be homeless. People are down on their luck. Sometimes there are mental health issues. So we got to figure out something and we got to figure it out fast.
Well, and it's interesting. One of the things, a big project of mine now is I volunteer in the prison system with MDOC inmates at the satellite facility where like it's like the minimum security facility where women leave and work, like the women who like work at the DMV, or you see them down at the Trade Mart or things like that. And they have had some people who've been admitted who are having like mental health issues, and they can't house them there. It's just not a place, and so it's like all of these things, we can't also put this on the prison system. And you can't, and it's not fair if someone is having a mental health crisis or whatever it is, like putting them in prison is not going to solve that. In some ways it could make it worse. And so yeah, you're right, you really have to have like fully think through the issue. And sometimes you can't do that until you've been on the ground and know what's going on, like you said, because it's like you said, it's easy to make decisions behind a desk, but when you're in and actually dealing with it, yeah, it's different. Like I said, when the trash thing hit, I had 2 kids in diapers, and I was like, I don't want to drag all this to a dumpster to put it in. Like, this is, but I, at the same time, and I'm like, I would be physically able to, like you said, there are like elderly or disabled who could not do that, or if you didn't have reliable transportation, um, all of those things. And so yeah, I think you can see that made me realize, so much of government you think is focused on like the federal level, that's what we pay attention to, or statewide elected officials. But that really made me see, and like, I guess it all comes back to the to the Jackson trash crisis, or even what you're seeing with these apartments and the things, how much these local issues like hit you in your home, like in your household, that's right there, like these decisions, or with like the water or things, when we did not have either running water or did not have like clean water. Those things it just affect every single person in their home, which is so you see, okay, this immediately can affect me. And it shows you the importance of who is in office.
Yeah, that's it. On the state level, we can make policies, we can pass laws, and we can send you some money to the city, but we cannot make the city do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to get people to understand that your local elections are the most important ones. Your mayor, city council, alderman, whatever your local government is, they're the important ones, because it's up to local government to come and tell us what they need for the municipalities. We can say, oh, the city needs this, but it's up to our local officials to let us know, what's needed. And so
Yeah.
definitely thank you for throwing that out there. All right, so we're going to wrap it on up. So tell the voters what they need to do on June the 3rd.
June the 3rd, get out to the polls. You can vote Grace Green for Ward 1. My website is graceforjackson.com. If you want to look it up and find more about me, feel free to reach out. I'm at Grace for Jackson on Instagram and Facebook. I would love to connect and learn more about you. And I'm trying to call and meet as many of you as possible. Saturday, I will be at McLeod Elementary School. They're having JPS is having a summer reading kickoff fair in front of McLeod Elementary School in the McLeod neighborhood in Ward 1. So you can come by and say hi there. But anyway, I'm easy to find, and I'll be in touch with you if you reach out to me.
That sounds great. Well, Grace, thank you so much for coming on.
Well,
We
thank you,
wish you the
Fabian.
best. No problem. We wish you the best of luck and keep going strong. Get in front of the people. Let them know who you are, and good luck to you on June the 3rd.
Well, thank you. I admire you and the way you serve your community. So you're definitely an inspiration of how to be an elected official.
Oh, thank you so much for those kind words.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Uh,
Well,
all right.
you have a good night.
All right. You too.
Okay.
Uh, All right, everyone. Y'all have heard from Grace Green. I almost say Grace Greenleaf because it's a Grace Greenleaf on the movie Greenleaf, but you heard from Grace Green, not Greenleaf, running for a city council here in the city of Jackson. So she's told y'all her platform, what she's running on, what she's running for. And so get out to the polls on June 3rd. All right, y'all. We have none other than the First Lady of the Reliable Representation Church, none other than Miss Brittany Bowman. How you doing? Have you cooled down over there any yet, Miss Bowman? You, You you mute. You muted. Miss Bowman, you on mute.
Oh, I'm just about to drop my phone, y'all. Holding it on the door. Oh,
Oh
listen, y'all.
Lord.
I don't drop my phone like I got another one I can pay for. This is what, second, third phone out about. Well, anyway, you all, I'm gonna hold my phone. Can y'all see me? Yeah.
You got three. You got three of them. That's why you're dropping stuff.
Okay, well, anyway, you all, glad to be here. Just want to get done and get home and get some rest. Been a busy day. Don't have much to talk about. Just have a few hot points, and I'm gonna let y'all go for the evening. First point, we definitely want to shout out Mr. James Hobson of Hobson's Junk Removal. Today, we were cleaning up Chapel Ridge Apartments. It was definitely a sight to see. From the stench to the items that were out there, it was definitely an awful sight. I'm very disappointed in our Hinds County leadership and our city government leadership. And also, I'm very disappointed in the candidates who ran for office and said they wanted to serve. I call a multiplicity of candidates today, and most of them gave me nothing but excuses as to why they could not help, from not having manpower to cost to a array of other issues, you all. And I'm a firm believer, if you pray to God and you seek Him in times of despair, I promise you He'll come through. This is not what nobody
Tell,
has told me.
tell them the one that did show up.
Oh, I'm gonna get to it. I want to tell you all that God will come through. We were only out there just doing a good deed because Mr. Hobson brought it to our attention and say, "Hey, I want to go out there. I want to clean up some. Well, clean up all of it. But I'll be able to get some today." Shout out to James Hopkins. He came out. He was willing to assist, but we had already wrapped up. He even assisted Mr. Hobson financially with paying the cost of the dump fees. You all, leadership is more than a title or than a name, or more than a publicity stunt. Leadership is when you're actively serving. And when I say actively serving, I mean boots on the ground. You know, we're doing a little dance with the fans. That's cute and fine, you all, but there's real issues out here that need to be tackled every day. Representative Nelson came out transformed like he was on Gladiator or something. Went from the suit to his current attire now, you all, and went to work as far as helping Mr. Hobson and his team to clean up the trash and just everything else that was out there. So I know we're gonna get a lot of pushback. I know we're gonna get a lot of name calling. And at this point, you all, I really don't care because for far too long, people have struggled in the city and the county, and there's no way you can tell me that you love God, you love serving people, but you see a need and you let it go unaddressed. Um, and I do want to say this to those who are going back to Chapel Ridge who are not residents over there and you're dumping trash. Please stop. That's a disgrace. That says a lot about your character, you all. You don't reside there. They're already catching a hard enough time. Why would you go add on to the problem? That needs to immediately stop. And so I'm going to partner with Chief Wade and Sheriff Jones and see if they can get some officers to kind of monitor that area to make certain other people are not going out there illegally dumping just because they see the conditions of the current situation. So I'll switch it over to Representative Nelson to see if he wants to elaborate about the cleanups on today.
Yeah, and I also want to shout out Zach Service. He's a candidate for mayor, city of Jackson. You can see him because he was there on the 23rd. So the
Okay,
first
great.
day he was out there and on the scene. So definitely want to, you know, give credit where credit is due. But I'm going to be elaborating a little bit on this project because I got a lot on my mind right now. But I'm going to be talking more about it. But it is just a disgrace to see our people having to live like that. When I talk about the stench is so bad, insects flying around, buzzes flying around, vermin running through the parking lot, molded apartments. There are so many issues over there. And we got to ask ourselves, how did it get to this? It didn't get that way overnight. And so we got to ask ourselves, how did we get to where we are with that? But the citizens over in Chapel Ridge want you to know that you're not alone. We are here to advocate and fight for you to get some change over there. And we're not going to stop. We had the health department out today, completing an inspection. Mississippi Department of Environment and Quality has sent a letter to the owner urging them to clean it up. So it's a process, but we're getting through it. I want to send a shout out to Erica Robinson Jones. Thank you for tuning in, Erica. All right, so I'm going to kick it back over to you, Ms. Bowman.
So yeah, I just want to again, I advise everyone who watches us via social media, definitely look at the stories tonight. And if you have a helping hand that you want to offer to assist Mr. Hobson, or if you have a financial contribution that you want to give, you all, because again, he's volunteering his services to go pick up this trash. He has to take it to a dump, not a local dump. Now he has to go outside the city of Jackson to go dump this. And so that's a cost. He's wear and tear on his vehicle and his trailers. Then he has to pay his workers for assisting him with the project, and then he has to go to another county to dump it. So you all find it in your heart if it's $5, $10, a dollar. Contact him and say, hey, Mr. Hobson, on social media, and say, hey, I would like to pitch in. I would like to donate toward the initiative that you're doing. And with that being said, as Representative Nelson alluded to, we'll hit that back next week because that's a whole fiasco that we can talk about for every Thursday until the project is actually worked on. But I just want to go hone in again and stress the attitude that I have toward these people who call themselves elected officials. If you represent the Chapel Ridge area and you only show up when the cameras are out, I question your integrity. I question your service. You are not, and you can call me. My number has changed, and I'll give it out. It's 601-910-5300. So you can call me if you want to have a conversation. I'll even take you to dinner or lunch, and we can discuss this. But you're not a public servant. Don't care who feelings it hurt. Don't care if I like you. I can like you personally, but professionally, if you're not doing your job, it's time that we call your feet to the ground. About what you are not doing. So Representative Nelson, again, I commend you. That's not even your district. That's not even what a state legislator does. But you have been out there advocating for those people and actually assisting. Same way with Shannon Street. I think that was brought to your attention. You actually went out. That wasn't even your area. The councilman, the representative, the senator for that area. I'm not certain if that person showed up. So I'm really concerned about the issues that we continuously face in our city. And we have people, as Mr. Ward with ASGN says, when it's time to vote, you can't beat them. They will take you over, coming to all your HOA meetings. Your HOAs can't even conduct business because you got candidates in there. Oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that when I get elected. But then when the citizens incur a hard time, you tend to run or don't show up or allege that you're so busy and this and that and the third. You knew you were going to be busy when you signed up for public service. It's a sacrifice. So that's it for my attention tonight. I got to go to another statement because I'm going to have to talk to God tonight.
Well, I want to go on a rant now. You went on a rant. I can't let you outdo me.
He always trying to be in competition. Go on.
It's not going to be as tough as yours, but I do want to bring something to everybody's attention. Now, we're talking about Mr. James Hobson with Hobson's Junk Removal. And I want the public to know that we appreciate his services. Every single cleanup that we've had in the city of Jackson, Mr. Hobson has shown up and he showed out with his equipment. He has never charged one dime or asked for any monetary contribution. Even with this, we didn't even call him. He saw the story on the news and he reached out to us. He didn't reach out and say, do you need help? He reached out and said, I will be there at 10:30 in the morning to clean that apartment community up because it makes no sense. Now, let me tell you the problem that I have.
Come on, Bishop.
All right, now, don't get me started. But I have a problem when we recommended this young man for a job with the city of Jackson in code enforcement. We sent him down there. He applied, gave him outstanding letters of recommendation, went through the interview process for the city of Jackson to tell him that he was not qualified. Now, if going out and cleaning up the city for free, doing the job that y'all are supposed to be doing when y'all making $80,000 and $90,000 a year. Thank you, Zach, for posting it. But he's out there doing your job, and you're telling him that he's not qualified. I want to know what the qualification is. We're not saying he want to be a civil engineer. We're saying this man has the expertise and the skill, and you overlook a candidate like that. And what really upsets me is the fact that after this happened, I sent a letter to every single person, including the mayor, telling them that we sent a candidate to you, that not asking for a political favor. We sent a candidate that we thought would be a good fit to you for a job down there, and y'all turned him down without giving a justifiable explanation to him as to why he was turned down, other than telling him that he was not qualified.
Oh, they did. He didn't score high enough. You forgot that part.
He didn't score high enough. Well, I don't know what tests they're given, but tests need to go to everybody that work down there, and the test need to be, can you go and clean up the city? I don't care about paper tests, written tests, or interviews. I care about the work that you are doing for your community. This man has probably more equipment than the city of Jackson has. Because as you know, the sewer truck got repossessed a few years ago. but I'm not trying to
Jesus.
put that out there. But I'm upset about this because we say we want our city to grow. We want good people doing good things, but
Right.
we overlook our good people. And anybody can attest to the work he's done. They go look at social media and see what this young man has done.
Mm-hmm.
And if he didn't meet the criteria that they demanded or needed him to meet, they could have easily said, Mr. Hobson, hey, we have another job for you. Are you interested in this job? Come and do 3 months and we'll reevaluate at the time, to figure out what's going on. But y'all, we have to stop hiring friends and family, friends of friends, because that's what's happening with the city. So I hope and pray that the new administration that comes in ready to do the right thing. I pray and hope that the new administration cleans house and gets rid of the people that are there keeping our city stagnant. I hope that they keep the people, because we have some people that are doing good work in the city of Jackson. They need to stay, but the ones that are down there occupying a seat, they need to go home and occupy a seat in their house or a seat somewhere
Ooh.
else. So I mean, I may sound angry, but yeah, you know what? I am angry because I'm tired of the same stuff happening over and over. When you have people here wanting change, trying to make change, and we go over there and look at an apartment complex that looks like a third world country, and we still have people dragging their feet, talking about regulations and ordinances and this and that. We got to figure out ways that we can serve the citizens of the great city of Jackson, because our folks have suffered for too long. And I'm telling you right now, it's a new day in Jackson. It is a new day. We are not going to put up with this any longer. I'm going to kick it back to you, Ms. Bowman. But this is not the first.
So I just want to go back to this. You brought out some great points. You said Mr. Hobson went down there, applied for a job, right? And the requirements didn't say you had to have a PhD or MSED or EDS. It didn't say any of that. Am I correct?
It didn't. No.
Okay. And so we're just talking about code enforcement, going around evaluating our current circumstances and see how we can improve it. Am I correct? Or maybe I didn't read the job qualifications correctly.
That is absolutely.
Okay. And so, as you alluded to, you did an awesome job by recommending him and sending a letter to the mayor and his command or executive cabinet. And those people replied back, as you alluded to, stating that he did not meet the scoring qualifications. And I'm like you, I wonder what scoring criteria that they're using, because everywhere I look in Jackson, it is doggone near filthy. So how could you say someone didn't meet the qualifications for you, but when I see you all just went tore down the Coca-Cola plant, half of the people that were out there looked at as if they were incompetent. I have called the city, asked for services next door for my sister's house next door to her. It's been on the books, I think, about 3 years. Nothing has been done. However, you all tell me, well, we're getting it to court. We've just been allocated these funds. How are you allocating funds, but you're still not cleaning? Saying that to say, you all, whoever the new mayor is, I'm excited. It's going to be a new day in Jackson. A lot of people going to go home. Never excited to see people lose their jobs, but I'm definitely excited to see the transition in leadership. And when I call leadership, I'm talking about you all representing necessarily occupying seats, not doing anything. I've been calling the city for certain issues. It'd probably be a day or so, anybody come back. We're working on the issue right now with a lady on Shannon Street. Called down, a young man told me he was going to work on it. He's going to find her somewhere. He didn't do any of that. What he said, all it was a bunch of false promises, fake lies. I'm like, Trump, fake news. And so I'm excited to see whoever wins the seat, they're bringing in new leadership. I think now it's time to transform, push these people out, because they have showed us they don't care about the city. They don't care about people. And I want those to know who denied Mr. Hobson the opportunity. Thanks to you, because it's not over. Thank God there's a God that he sits high, but he looks low. And he's definitely going to bring some things to fruition. We got a lot of things in the works. And so people look down on me and Fabian and talk about us. But listen, we have some great people that follows us and reach out to us after show and say, hey, you are doing a great job. We're supporting you. And so I want Mr. Hobson to know, thank you again today for your services. We highly appreciate it. Thanks to the City of Jackson, Department of Planning, who did not give him the opportunity. But you're going to need an opportunity when this new mayor comes in, because some of you all won't be in those same seats. Making, as you alluded to, Zach put out $70,000, $80,000, and we see nothing for the cost that they're, reaping. I thank you again, Zach, for that.
Can I testify for a moment?
Come on.
Now, I don't know. I don't know about the God they serve,
Ooh!
but the God I serve, when you dig a ditch for somebody, that person you dug that ditch from will turn right around and have your job, and you'll be sitting at the house. So you have to be careful. you out there doing these things, you're getting away with that.
Mm.
And look, and we're gonna get on off of that, but y'all, we got more for y'all on later shows. We've really been giving a lot of grace to people around here, just trying to get them on board with doing the right thing. But we
Correct.
see that with this grace, it's not working. So we're gonna start talking about these issues because our constituents need to know what's
Correct.
going on.
Correct.
Mr. Hobson said, "My pleasure." We are so appreciative of you, Mr. Hobson. All right, so I'm gonna give it on back to you, Mother Evangelist, Episcopal,
Apostle, emeritus,
Apostle, Psalmist.
doctor, like all of these public puppets. Okay, we're gonna talk about another hot issue that I can't understand is going on again in Hinds County. You all, we make sure we're ranked number 1 in doing nothing. I tell you, Hinds County, we do that well. So I'm going to read a statement, you all, and I want you to hear this from a mother crying out for help. So the statement says, imagine this was your child. Imagine your child being removed from you since December 16, 2022, for speaking the truth all these years of the abuse my child has endured. Imagine having proof of the abuse from forensics, licensed therapists, teachers, CPS, and family members who have witnessed the trauma my son has been dealing with and it being ignored and covered up by the system that is in place to protect him. So I want to put a pin there. So you call CPS, and CPS is the governing authority. Am I correct? I don't know the legislative terminology. Am I correct, Representative?
You are
Okay,
100% correct.
Okay. To assist with the issues like this.
Can I put a pin in there?
Mm-hmm.
And so what we see happening, and as being a foster parent, I have had children that come from very, very bad situations. And what we've seen is CPS talks about reunification, and they do every single thing they can to make sure that these children have a relationship with the person that abused them. Now you can continue.
Oh, wow. So they make certain that the children are able to go back to the homes of the abuser?
They want to get them back home, and so they'll make sure that these kids have they'll have visitation, phone calls, their parents call them. So they do every single thing they can to get these kids back with these families. And the reason I'm saying that is because the young lady we're talking about, none of that. She's an outstanding mother to this young man. And the fact that it's no contact for 2 years or more, I can't understand it for life, but continue going.
Okay, let me carry on. Okay, let me read. Imagine your child not knowing if you're dead or alive because of a temporary no contact order being placed on you as a form of retaliation by a biased judge. So I'm gonna put a pin there. We're gonna pause there. Remind me where my mark is so I can come back to that. So you tell me that you have a judge in Hinds County that knows what's going on with this child, what's going on between this child, the child's mother, the child's father, and you tell me that you're biased. So now that leads me to this. Now I stay in education, I stay in my lane. I'm not good with this, but I want to go here. So if you know and you have the justifiable evidence, please tell me as a judge. I thought you take an oath saying that you were going to do what was legally right in an unbiased situation, taking no sides, being unbiased. Am I correct, or they don't do that?
Well, if you ever look at Lady Justice, which is on most courthouses, it's a symbol for judges. Lady Justice has a blindfold on because they say justice is supposed to be blind, meaning it's supposed to be impartial, meaning you're supposed to make sure you're looking at the facts. But it's obvious that Lady Justice here in Hinds County has 20/20 vision.
Okay. I just wanted to, hone in on that. I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing anything about that. Okay. So we're going to revisit that too. Imagine not waking up to your child every day because nothing you did wrong to your child, but because you did what a mother would do for her child who wasn't safe. I spoke up. So I want to go here. Have someone that Representative Nelson and I know has been a victim to some of these same circumstances as an adult, though. Over in Rankin County, did not commit the crime, but had to pay the time for something because of what somebody said. No justifiable evidence. Just had to, settle down and say, hey, I'm going to take this because I can't afford to. That person was young at the time, couldn't afford to secure legal counsel. So had to just bite the bullet, take the time, and serve the time. And so during that person now has a hindrance in progressing in life because of something. So again, we're going back to elected officials serving unjustly. Am I correct?
Absolutely. You're right on target.
Okay, so let me carry on. Imagine
We're gonna take a collection up in a minute. But
Okay,
continue.
okay, we will. Imagine the system financially draining you for every dime you have just to keep you coming back and forth into court. I have paid out of my pocket for everything dealing with the courts. I did not have the luxury of being acquainted with individuals in the court system to obtain pro bono attorneys. Imagine having attorneys who you had to spend thousands, oh my God, and thousands of dollars for who didn't fight for you or your child and knew how much proof and evidence you had to save my child, but did nothing because they were friends with the judge or knew the judge's reputation. So now we go here. So we have judges in Hinds County who were sitting on the bench again, took an oath that said that they were going to do what was right, and now you're taking sides because you know of the abuse, you know the abuser. And so because the abuser has painted a picture, or again, as what we've already saw in our city and our county, a bribe or some type may have been given. So you've accepted that to say that you're going to neglect the well-being of a child. Tell me how that exhibits integrity, that exhibits love, that exhibits kindness. Just tell me. I'm kind of concerned about that. But that's what this mother has went through. Imagine being refused help by many organizations, news stations, commissioner's office, attorney generals, Jackson Police Department, DHS, and others. So here we go again, you all. We just got finished talking about public office. All these people run and vote and campaign, beat your doors down. Hey, vote for me, vote for me. I'm going to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, 1, 2, 3 when I get in office. But when their constituents get in the need for services, you can't serve them. So again, she says news stations. So that's WLBT, WJTV, WAPT. I know that some of them are biased because I've sent them requests for stories to be aired. Again, going back to the lady we're helping on Shannon Street. They have yet to contact me to air this story. But no worries. I'm still going to keep working. I'm still going to keep doing because she's moving in the right direction. It's all God. But I want to put that there. Commissioner's office. I'm not certain of what commissioner's office, but even with that being said, that's unethical. Again, you took an oath of office saying you were going to serve your people, and here is mom crying out for help. You still won't. Attorney General, is that Lynn Fitch's office? Am I correct? Is she's the AG?
Yes.
Okay, so we need to follow up with her to find out exactly, hey, you know, what's going on? Why haven't you followed up with mom? Jackson Police Department, that's Chief Joseph Wade. Hey, Chief Wade, you're doing an excellent job. We want to support you in the crime, but besides crime, we have other issues that we need to tackle. So we definitely want to set up a conference with Chief Wade to see, you know, what are the steps? What is his plan of action? What are the next steps for this mom? DHS, oh, that's a whole tantrum. So the former governor was allowed to misappropriate, misallocate, whatever they want to call it, funds. Nobody said anything. That got swept under the rug. Of course, you know, you and I, we couldn't have done that because we're African Americans, so we automatically went crucified to the cross. But
over $10.
No. You know, the Scott sisters got in trouble for it was less than 10. So let's go there. So DHS, we need to get with that commissioner to find out exactly why have you again failed this mom. Wow. Imagine the separation anxiety and trauma my son and I will have forever. We will never be the same. They won't, because look at how much time lapsed. Time is one thing, one priceless thing that you can never get back. So all this time has lapsed. Mom has seen her child. Mom is feeling some type of way. Mom is going to eventually have an emotionally mental breakdown if she has not already encountered one because of this. Wow. Imagine being told, can't no single mother raise a black little boy. And if I come back into this court saying my son was abused by my son's abuser, I was going to regret it. That's what I was told by this judge. So we're going to go back to this statement. There's a guy that sits high. He definitely looks low. And as you alluded to, Representative Nelson, if you dig one ditch, you know, get your shovel and make sure you got 2 or 3 out there because one of them going to be just for you. So
I'm gonna tell you, the God I serve, he said much higher than any judge's bench, even in the Supreme Court. So you got to be careful. When you messing with these people, you better be careful because your day is coming. You can smile and grin and parlay all across town like you it. But when the Lord gets you, man can't get you like the Lord can.
That's it. So no, I want to go back here. Can't no single mother raise a black little boy. I take offense to that because I'm a single mom. I've been doing this 14 years. I've been doing it strong, y'all. I'm talking about crying.
An outstanding job. Amazing job.
Crying. I told Fabian the other day, I'm so excited my son going to high school. I've been texting his dad, hey, graduation coming up. No response. You hate me so much that you hate your child. That's the issue between you and God. But what I will say is this. I'm not going to let my child fail because you want me to fail as a mother. I'm not going to let that. And for this judge to tell this, I wonder if you, I'm assuming it's a female judge. I'm assuming that because I can't see a male judge saying it. But however, if it's male or female, if you're a female and you said that, again, you are very low on the totem pole to tell a mom she can't raise. My mama did it like none other. Our daddies were in and out, but my mama held the fort down. And today, none of us on drugs. None of us been to jail for a long time. That we might have went for a DUI
Hello.
or something. But now, we ain't never went for no crime, no major crime. We probably went for a DUI, because there was something we do in the country. But we never went and spent any time. All of us are able to financially support ourselves, and we are growing by grace. And so, to this judge who says
I'm,
this,
I'm gonna tell. I'm gonna tell you, Brittany. One thing people need to realize about us: we're gonna tell our business. We're gonna put it all out there. We
yeah,
we ain't hiding from. We're gonna tell the truth.
yeah, because see, folks want to go tell stuff they don't know. So I'm gonna give you the truth. So you ain't gotta go ask nobody. I done told you, yeah, that's what we'll do. So you ain't got a question. And as we always say, I'm an open book. Call me and I'll tell you what I've done. I have nothing to hide because you can't judge me. You trying to judge me and you got your own skeletons. Nah, we ain't doing it. But anyway, to this judge that says if the parent come back to the court, they were going to regret it. You better hope that in the next 2 to 4 years that the folks vote for you. Because if they don't, I can promise you, my last $2, as Johnny Taylor say, I'm going to help whoever it is campaign. Because when you tell a mother that they can't raise a black little boy, I have no respect for you. You at the bottom of the totem pole. So I will help whatever person that's going to run against this judge in Hinds County when it's time to go canvas, campaign, whatever all that good little stuff is. So let me keep going. Imagine your child telling numerous people what has happened to him and they turned their backs on him. Imagine having to get an order of protection to keep your son and yourself safe from the abuser, and the abuser get a slap on the wrist. That happens in Hinds County. That happens in Hinds County because my son's father got a slap on the wrist after I was showed evidence, told them what he wasn't doing. They still didn't believe me, still kept saying that I was lying, that I didn't have the proof. And I had the proof with receipts. So I believe that. Imagine the system financially draining you for every dime you have just for you to keep coming back in the court. That's horrible. But anyway, I know God. Ooh, I know God. I know God will do what he said he will do. Everything done in the dark will come to the light. I always taught my sons to pray and I always trust God. It is hard. It is hard, but I am going to keep trusting God. I pray God send an earth vessel to help us reveal this corruption, the so-called justice system. It is my family today, but it could be yours tomorrow. I totally agree with Mom. It's your family today. Definitely could be ours this evening. As I say, me and Representative Nelson are working with several people, but one in particular that does an awesome job. Something similar like this again happened to this person over in Rankin County. Was railroad to say that they did something, but they didn't do it. It have no proof. However, the people over there have been able to go scapegoat just free. Hadn't done anything, hadn't assisted this person. But again, there's a guy. So we're working on that. So I want to let this mom know that Fabian and I are working with you. I don't even know Mom. I haven't even met Mom, but she has been sending me messages through by saying she loves the bravery and the courage that I have and how I get out and I share my story. And I share my story because I want people to know that there is hope, there is life, that you can live beyond the crucifixions that people give us. People put limits on us, but God doesn't. So Mom, hold on, keep praying, fast, cry if you must, but definitely don't give up. Help is on the way. 2025 is definitely breed some new breed of people, some new ideas, people who are just like Fannie Lou Hamer. They're sick and tired. So I want Mom to know, keep holding on. We're working for you. We're advocating for you. And definitely keep God first. And keep praying because he's going to get that judge.
And,
And I'm
and look, I want to just put a disclaimer here really quickly. And I want to say that everything that you just said in that letter is 100% true. And the reason I know it's true is because I've been knowing this family for a very long time. The reason I know it's true is because I've sat there in the courtroom and have heard these things that are in that letter. And so I'm saying this so our listeners will know that it's not just a random person that sent a letter in and we just taking a bone and running with it. No, all of these allegations are true. Every single thing that she's saying is true. And it bothers me. When you're on the outside looking in and your voice is not being heard, it can't be answered, that hurts. When we talk about it's so many kids right now being abused, the mothers are afraid to report it because they're afraid their child is going to get taken away from them. And when you look at instances like this, look at what happened. We got to stop doing that. We got to start making sure that we are looking out for our children and the parents.
okay. And I totally agree. And again, that goes back to leadership. You know, if this mom has been crying out for help, you know, and I'm not just on the black people side or just the white people. That has no color. If you're in an office and people, especially a mom, is reaching out for help, I think if you deserve, well, that mom deserves due diligence. And so to those elected officials that mom has reached out to, you won't help. Again, we're going to give you another. I believe in give people a chance because God give us chance after chance after chance after chance and unlimited. So I believe in helping this lady with giving these elected officials another chance. But listen, after we go and we meet, it's like the ball game, 3 strikes and you out. If we go in 3 attempts and you don't make anything, then it's time to go further with the exposure because this mom is hurting. And eventually things like this will definitely lead to suicide. I know all too well because I've contemplated myself several times because I did not have the help that I wanted, because I gave to a man that I loved and I wanted a family with, and he chose not to take care of his child. It wasn't my choice because anybody know women, we are emotional. We'll stay there until we can't. And that's what I wanted, but he didn't want me, and it was hard for me to accept that. And so my child has been malnourished from a father figure in his life. But I tell you, he's had some great supporters like Uncle Fabian, my brothers, and other people, powerful influences that has came into his life, took him under their wings, and he's flourishing. He don't even really know that he doesn't have a father. He knows he has one, but he don't even miss his absence now because he's been gone for so long. So, Mom, hold on tight. We're on the way. Listen, as me and Fabian say, we just put the grease. What we say? We just put the grease in the skillet.
I'm sorry, I was muted. We put the grease in the skillet, so we just turned it on low. So we're gonna slowly turn it up.
Okay.
But I want to lead this family and everybody out there with a word real quick. What you have to realize is when you're going through things like this, it's because you have an anointing on your life.
Ooh, hallelujah! I need my tambourine, y'all.
You know, this young man has an anointing on his life, and the devil wants to destroy whatever is good and whatever is of God. I want to tell you my story a little bit. You know, as everybody know, I have a 15-year-old son. I adopted him for about 3-4 years, 3.5 years ago. And when I tell you, every single person that meets my son, and you can attest to this, they say, "Oh my God, that's an amazing young man. We see God in him," and he is. That child went through so many things, but guess what? It didn't break him. It made him stronger.
He's a strong 15-year-old.
He has gone through things that even as adults, we have not gone through. But it has not broken him. And I know when I see him, sometimes I just say, this, Octavius, my son, you have such a strong calling on your life. You have prevailed. So I want to say this to this young man and his mother. Keep fighting because the devil is trying to break you. He's not going to break you because when God is in the mix, you will feel like you're at wit's end, like you're at the end of the road and you can't go on no more. And guess what? God will pick you up and your whole life is going to change.
That's
I'm going to
it.
leave it there.
That's it. Well, I want to leave, like you said, our closing remarks. We had a similar situation like we were doing the cleanup today. Somebody that we know, that we care a lot about, came with bad news, saying that, you know, something changed in their life that will affect them, you know, financially, you know, socially, economically, because they still have to survive. And I want to give this message. As you always tell me, Fabian, a thief don't break into empty houses. If they come they come to break in, it's something that they want. They see something. And so I say that to say, when we think things are losses, you know, because I've been fired from jobs that I know that I did not do anything wrong. And I was like, oh, so bitter, you know, hurt, Lord, how am I make it? God sent people my way where for a whole month, I didn't have to pay anything. People were coming to pour into my life while I was still looking for a job. And then when I got another job, it was 3 times more than what I was making on the job I had got fired from. So I want to say this to the mom as well. When things looking gloomy, bleak, dark, listen, when it rains, the sun got to shine again. So keep the faith, trust God. Again, I believe in this. Stay around powerful people that have something they can pour into your life. Don't be around anybody negative when you're going through because it's not going to help your situation. You need all the positivity, but believe and know that your blessing is on the horizon. And we're going to tap out. We'll see you out next Thursday. Hopefully we'll be inside the station because we got some real issues that we got to lay on the line. We want some callers too next week. So we'll be back next Thursday, same time.
Same time, and I said I'm gonna close on something. I'm gonna close on something else.
Okay, come on.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Y'all, he's so full.
Wait a minute.
He full because it's been a day today.
I forgot what I was gonna say. It was something good too. Say something else a little bit. I'm gonna get it. I can't go without. Oh yeah. I got it. You know, we've been on WMPR for almost 2 years now. I want to say.
Mhm.
We've never gotten to WMPR and I've had issues where we were not able to broadcast. And when we got here this evening and we couldn't get in and all the issues that are going on, I told you what I said. I said, Brittany, we're going to make it work. And the reason I said we got to make it work is because I knew this story that we had to get out. That's the devil trying to keep this story from getting out. But I said, he's not going to hinder us. We're going to get this story out. And when I tell y'all Brittany was fire hot red, I said, we got a story to tell. Devil, you ain't going to stop. I'm here in the parking lot. You look at Brittany, she over in the parking lot like she over in Egypt somewhere, waiting on Pharaoh to let her people go. But we got a story to tell, and we're going to get it out no matter what. I mean, I don't care. It may like look pretty and fancy, but hey, we got out what we need to get out, and we're not done talking about it. All right,
Listen,
I'm done now.
I was upset. I'm still a little warm because I knew what we had endured early today that, was just treacherous. We was out there in that heat, sweating. I had my God, baby, graduation to be at. I left there sweating, took a wash off of my car, kept on going because, again, I knew what I had promised her, and children and people are looking up to me, looking for me to come through, so I couldn't let her down. But like you said, I was hot, I was upset, had to go sit in my car, have a talk with God and say, God, help me with this, because I'm about to go from 0 to 1,000,000. And Fabian knows, like, with me, it's no stopping point. Like, I don't see nothing, I just snap out. But God spoke to me and said, people are out here hurting. People out here doing great work. Mr. Hofstra deserves the credit. I believe in giving credit where it's due. I don't believe in, oh no, that person gonna outshine me. No, he deserves it. This mom that's hurting, she deserves for people to know that she's hurting. So I was determined after I went over here to talk with God, I said, Brittany, get out, get yourself together, because it's not about you. Sometimes in life, things gonna happen. And as you alluded to, you gotta maneuver. And so that's what you did. And I commend you because you did not let it get the best of you. When I said, no, let's go, you was like, no, we're doing it.
And look, I'm getting ate up by mosquitoes.
Me too. So we're going to be in some hot Epsom salt tonight. Hot water with Epsom salt.
Sure. But y'all, we got a lot more to dig into, a lot more to go. But thank y'all for being patient with us. We know this is not our normal setup. We apologize for that. But nonetheless, we got our word. And look, we still have, we got Grace Green on her. Grace, you still on? We're going to let you close us out this evening.
Well, hey, thanks. I wanted to talk to you a little bit afterwards because I'm like, we were talking about campaigning ahead of time. But thank you so much. Yes. And again, just like making it work. Like, let's do it. Like, I think people are tired of excuses and tired of folks who are saying, that's not my job or that's whatever. I mean, if it's nobody's job, then it's not going to get done. And so,
correct.
You show, I loved Brittany's little sermon and preaching, and just because I'm a Christian too, and
Come on, girl.
they say you will know them by their fruit. And what is the fruit? Is it good or is it rotten? And it's like you can say whatever, but it's like what is the fruit? And I see, like, with Fabian in your service and some other people, like, what is it? Are you going to be there when there's a crisis, or are we going to say that's not my job, or call somebody else, or whatever, or are we just going to figure out how to get it done? And yeah, so thanks for letting me be a part. And I stayed in my car not because I was afraid of mosquitoes or anything. I just got so much feedback when I got out that I was like, I can't hear it. My brain can't hear 4 conversations echoing each other. And I've got 4 kids. I should be able to do it, but it's like, let's. And Fabian, thank you for sharing the story of your son. I didn't know all the background, and that's truly amazing. And we need more people like you in government and just in real life, bringing up the next generation. So I'm thankful to know both of y'all. One of my favorite things about campaigning is the people I've gotten to meet, and so no matter the outcome of the election, I'm thankful for some of these connections I've gotten.
Great.
All right. Well, y'all have heard from Apostle Grace. We're going to go on and ordain. and thank y'all for tuning in. Grace, I'll holler at you when we get off here.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, bye.
All right, we're signing off. We'll see y'all next week, same time, same place, 6 o'clock, reliable representation. 90.1, hopefully we'll be able to stream. All right.
Okay, bye.